Hello, my name is Paul and this is Missy, and together our channel is Posture Pilates. So today I'm going to guide you through a beginner session on the Reformer. This beginner session will consist of spinal mobility, footwork, shoulder bridges or spinal rolls, abdominal crunches, feet in straps, a few exercises from the mid-back series, upper body around the box, and finally we'll finish with some leg stretches. If you enjoy today's video, then please consider subscribing and hitting the like button. If you wish to be notified of future video releases, then tap the bell icon below. It's free of charge, it doesn't cost you anything, and it helps us to grow the channel and create more content such as this. Also, if you have any exercises that you would like me to cover, then please leave a comment down below. Thank you for watching and enjoy. Please note a thorough breakdown of most of these exercises can be found on the main Posture Pilates channel page. We start with spinal mobility. Sitting on the Reformer with your feet flat on the floor, inhale, prepare. Exhale, roll down the spine, moving into flexion. Inhale, roll up, returning to a neutral seated position. Exhale, lift the chest, moving into thoracic and cervical extension. Inhale, return the head and thoracic spine back to neutral. Exhale, roll down the spine. Inhale, roll up the spine. Exhale, lift the chest towards the ceiling. Inhale, return the thoracic spine back to neutral. Lift the arm closest towards the headrest. Exhale, laterally flex towards the footbar. Inhale, return the spine back to neutral before windmill changing the arms. Exhale, laterally flex. Inhale, return the torso and windmill change the arms. Perform 2 repetitions on either side before transitioning to spinal rotation. With the arms held out at shoulder height, exhale and rotate the chest to the right, keeping both sides of the sit bones in contact with the Reformer. Inhale, return the chest back to the center. Exhale, twist. Inhale, return. Add a slight little rotation of the head and neck. Moving on to footwork, you may require the headrest up for correct cervical alignment. I'm choosing to work with strong springs, either 3 red or possibly 2 red and a green if you have it. Lay supine on the Reformer with your spine in neutral and the core gently activated. We begin with heels. With the legs parallel, the heels on the footbar and the feet hip distance apart. Exhale as you extend the knees, pressing the carriage out. Inhale, flex the knees and hips, controlling the return of the carriage. Exhale, extend. Inhale, return. Maintain dorsiflexed ankles throughout. With all footwork, extend the knee joint without locking or hyperextending. Perform 8 to 10 repetitions before transitioning to midfoot. Always change foot position with the carriage in. Place the middle of the foot through the footbar. The toes are relaxed over the top with the heel hanging underneath. Once more, exhale as you extend the knees, pressing the carriage out. Inhale, flex the knees and hips, controlling the return of the carriage. Avoid the knees from moving outward, a loss of knee tracking. If so, place a small ball between the knees and encourage the client to gently press inwards, recruiting the adductors. Once again, perform 8 to 10 repetitions before moving on to toes. Place the ball of the feet onto the footbar with the ankle plantar flexed. Exhale, extend the hip and knee. Inhale, flex the hip and knee. Keep the heels relatively still in space. Avoid them from overly lifting and lowering. Watch the ankle joints don't collapse outwards. If so, place the tennis ball between the heels and encourage the client to gently press inwards. For second position on heels, externally rotate the hips and place the heels wide onto the footbar. Exhale, extend. Inhale, return with control. As with the previous heels, maintain dorsiflexion at the ankle with the spine in neutral. Avoid opening the knees too wide. Maintain alignment of the knees over the feet. And to finish the footwork section, we will perform the calf raise into the calf stretch. Return the legs to parallel. Place the toes onto the footbar hip distance apart and press the carriage away. Inhale, keeping the legs straight, lower the heels under the bar, dorsiflexion. Exhale, lift the heels, keeping the knees extended, plantar flexion. Be aware of clients with hyperextended knees. They may need to soften and bend the knees ever so slightly. Perform 8 to 10 repetitions before bending the left knee and hanging the right heel under the bar, stretching the calf muscle. Hold for roughly 6 counts before switching to the other side. Maintain lumbar pelvic stability. Watch the client isn't sitting into their hip joint. Rise onto both toes before returning the carriage home. We now move to shoulder bridge with spinal rolls. For this, we lower the headrest down and move to 2 red springs or 1 red and 1 blue. The lighter the springs, the more challenging the exercise. For absolute beginners, I would advise to start with the feet on the platform. The spine starts in neutral. Inhale, prepare. Without moving the carriage, passing through imprint, exhale and segmentally peel the spine away from the bed, vertebra by vertebra, until the hip joint is extended with the lumbar spine in neutral. Inhale at the top, exhale, roll down the spine segment by segment, until returning the pelvis back to the carriage and finishing with the spine in neutral. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, pass through imprint and roll up the spine. Inhale at the top. Exhale, roll down the spine, passing through imprint before returning to neutral. You may want to practice this on the mat first before moving on to the reformer. Once more, if you see your client swinging the knees outwards, place the ball between the knees and encourage them to do a gentle press inwards. To increase the challenge, you could place your feet up onto the footbar. The breathing remains the same. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, passing through imprint and roll up the spine. Inhale at the top. Exhale, roll down the spine, passing through imprint before returning to neutral. With the feet up higher, the greater the pelvis has to lift. Avoid opening and flaring the ribs. Maintain a rib-to-pelvic connection via the oblique muscles at the peak of the bridge. Aim to keep the carriage still. This requires strong glute activation to prevent the hamstrings from cramping. Let's move up the body to the abdominals. If you previously used a headrest, return it up. Bring the hands behind the ears, with the elbows in peripheral vision. I'm choosing to work with an imprinted spine, helping to create a stronger connection with the abdominals as we perform crunches. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, perform a slight little head nod, bringing the eyeline towards the knees. Then abdominally curl up through the center, aiming to lift the shoulder blades away from the carriage. Inhale, lower the spine back to the carriage and return the head to neutral. Exhale, head nod and abdominally crunch through the center. Inhale, lower with control and return the head to neutral. Avoid the stomach from bulging forward. Think of drawing the abdomen down and in towards the spine. To increase the challenge, float the legs to tabletop as you maintain the imprinted spine. Exhale, head nod and abdominally crunch through the center. Inhale, lower with control and return the head to neutral. Avoid the shins from lowering as the repetitions proceed. Also, watch the lumbar spine maintains its imprint position throughout. Lower the feet back onto the foot bar as we move on to feet in straps. Maintaining the 2 red springs, place the feet into the straps one at a time. Bring the legs parallel and adducted, with the knees extended and the ankles plantar flexed. Keeping the spine in neutral, inhale and flex the hips, knees and dorsiflex the feet. Exhale, press the feet into the straps and extend the hips and knees whilst plantar flexing the feet. Inhale, flex, exhale, extend. Keep the feet at the same height. Avoid the legs from lifting or lowering. Like the footwork, avoid locking or overextending the knee joints. For absolute beginners, you may want to miss out the ankle movements. Simply maintain dorsiflexion throughout. Transitioning to lift and lower, inhale, lift the legs towards the ceiling, keeping the legs straight, feeling the stretch through the hamstrings. Exhale, press the feet into the straps and draw the legs down. Inhale, lift, keeping the sacrum in contact with the carriage. Exhale, lower without the abdominal wall doming. I'm choosing to work in a neutral spine. However, you could do this in imprint. Whichever spinal position you choose, maintain it throughout the duration of this exercise. Perform 6 to 8 repetitions before moving on to leg circles. If the spine was previously in imprint, return it to neutral. Inhale, lift the legs. Exhale, circle the legs away from each other, reconnecting the feet at the bottom. Inhale, lift. Exhale, circle. Work both legs equally. Avoid any jarring or asymmetry movements of the hip joints. Perform 4 repetitions before reversing the action. Inhale, circle the legs away from each other, reconnecting the feet at the top. Exhale, press the legs down through the center. Inhale, circle. Exhale, lower. Maintain pelvic stability whilst isolating the movement at the hip joint. Continuing on to frog, lower the legs and externally rotate at the hip joint. Keeping the heels together, inhale and flex the knees and hips whilst dorsiflexing the feet. Exhale, extend the knees and hips whilst plantar flexing the feet. Inhale, flex. Exhale, extend. Aim to flex the hips and knees in as far as possible whilst maintaining neutral spine, increasing joint mobility. Keep the heels connected throughout. As with bend and stretch, you could omit the ankle movement. Simply maintain dorsiflexion. And finally, high to low V or adductors. Maintaining external rotation, inhale and abduct the legs out into a high V position. Exhale and draw the legs down and in, dorsiflexing the ankles and creating a low V position with the feet. Inhale, lift up and out. Exhale, draw down and in. Keep the sacrum area in contact with the carriage as the legs lift up and out into the high V. Avoid the abdominal wall from doming as the legs draw down and in. Maintain a strong core activation throughout. Bend the knees and take the feet out of the straps one at a time. We now continue on to the upper body. We start with 3 exercises from the mid-back series. Press yourself up as we reduce the spring tension. I'm going to work with 1 red and 1 blue. However, this could be 1 red and 1 yellow. Please note, these are suggestions. All spring tensions across the session should be adjusted to your specific client's strengths and weaknesses. We start with the arms straight down. Take hold of the straps and bring the hands over the alignment of the shoulders. Float the legs up into tabletop one at a time. Keeping the arms straight and the scapula stabilized, exhale and draw the arms down, reaching the fingertips forward. Inhale, resist the arms up, controlling the return of the carriage. Exhale, draw down. Inhale, control up. As regards to lumbar pelvic placement, I'm choosing to work in neutral. However, dependent upon the client's needs, a continuous imprinted spine may be more suitable. Perform 6 to 8 repetitions before lowering the arms out to your side with the hands slightly in your peripheral vision. Keeping the arms straight, exhale and draw the arms in towards the hips. Inhale, open the arms back out to the side, maintaining scapular stability. Exhale, draw in. Inhale, resist out. Reach the fingertips forward, keeping the wrists as long as possible. Watch the shins don't start to lower as the repetitions progress. Maintain tabletop leg position. And finally, arm circles. Exhale, draw the arms into the body. Inhale, lift them towards the ceiling. Exhale, lower the arms out to the side before drawing them in. Inhale, lift the arms towards the ceiling. Exhale, inhale. Complete 4 to 5 repetitions before reversing the action. Inhale, open the arms out before lifting. Exhale, draw the arms down towards the carriage. Inhale, open and lift. Exhale, draw down. The exhale occurs as the spring tension increases. Lower the feet down onto the footbar and replace the straps. We now move on to upper body around the box. For a more detailed breakdown, tap the link in the top right hand corner. For this series, we require the box to be set up in a long box position. I'm choosing to work with one red spring, but this could be performed with one blue. Take hold of both straps and straddle the box facing forward. As we perform, arms straight forward. Sitting upright with the arms straight down by your sides, elbows soft and scapula stabilized. Exhale, reach the arms forward and up, finishing with your hands at eye line. Inhale, return the arms to the start position under control. Exhale, reach forward. Inhale, lower with control. Keep abdominal connection to maintain the neutral seated position. Avoid the scapula from becoming overly protracted as the arms reach forward. Perform 6 to 8 repetitions before opening the arms out to the side and transitioning to hug or second position. The elbows are soft and in line with the shoulders. Exhale and press the hands together, forming a circle with the arms. Inhale, return the arms to the start position under control. Exhale, press the hands together. Inhale, release with control. Avoid the arms from opening too far back, retracting the shoulder blades and flaring the rib cage. And to finish front facing, reach the arms forward and up for incline extension. Inhale, flex the elbows to roughly 90 degrees, keeping the forearm angled upwards. Exhale, extend the elbows, reaching the fingertips forward and up. Inhale, flex the elbows. Exhale, extend the elbows. Reach the fingertips high enough so the straps and cables do not brush against the arms. To finish, turn the palms up and lower the arms with control. Continuing to side facing, we reduce the spring resistance. I'm choosing to work with one blue, but this could be performed with one yellow. Start sitting upright towards the headrest. Take hold of the front strap and flex the elbow to roughly 90 degrees until you feel tension across the cable. Exhale and laterally flex the spine, simultaneously extending the elbow and reaching the arm overhead. Inhale, return the spine back to neutral as you flex the elbow. Exhale and laterally flex with elbow extension. Inhale, return to neutral with elbow flexion. Maintain the torso moving in a coronal plane. Watch the body doesn't rock forwards or backwards. I encourage my clients to slide their free hand into the side strap for an extra feeling of security and safety. Progressing to seated spinal twist, the arms are held out in front of the body, slightly rounded with both hands holding the short strap directly in front of the sternum. Exhale, rotate the torso away from the pulleys, moving the carriage out. Inhale, return the upper torso under control, returning the carriage in. Exhale, twist and rotate. Inhale, control and return. Isolate the rotation at the torso. Avoid using the arms to move the carriage out. Maintain both sides of the sit bones in contact of the box throughout. Transitioning to draw a sword, leading from the elbow, exhale and abduct the arm, before extending the elbow, reaching the fist up and out on the high diagonal. Inhale, flex the elbow, adduct the arm whilst rotating and returning the torso. Exhale, twist and extend. Inhale, flex and return. Allow the head to follow the twist and rotation of the torso. Once again, ensure both sit bones remain grounded throughout. We now move to back facing. For this, we need to increase the resistance back up. Once more, I'm working with one red spring, but this could be performed with one blue. Straddle the box facing the back and take hold of both straps. I'm using the short, but you could use the long straps. We start with back facing plow. Sitting upright with arms straight and fingers extended, exhale and reach the arms down and back. Inhale, resist the arms forward under control. Exhale, press back. Inhale, resist forward. Maintain the torso's vertical position throughout. Prevent the body from leaning forwards or backwards. Watch the shoulders don't protract as the arms reach back. Progressing to open book, cross the cables and slide the forearms into the short straps. Lift the elbows to 90-degree flexion in front and at shoulder height. Maintaining elbow flexion and height, exhale and horizontally abduct the elbow out to the side. Inhale, control and return to the start position. Exhale, horizontally abduct. Inhale, control and return. Avoid pulling the elbows back too far. Resist squeezing the shoulder blades together and protruding the rib cage forward. Perform 6 to 8 repetitions before our final back-facing exercise, high V-shaped arms. Extend the arms out straight at shoulder height, keeping the cables crossed, holding onto the long straps. Exhale, lift the arms towards the ceiling, creating a V shape. Inhale, lower them back down to shoulder height under control. Exhale, lift up. Inhale, lower with control. Once again, maintain the torso in a vertical position throughout. Prevent the body from leaning forwards or backwards. This can be very challenging for some clients and may require a reduction in the spring resistance. Coming back to side facing in the opposite direction, we lower the spring resistance back down to either one blue or one yellow spring. Sit on the box towards the headrest end as we start with lateral flexion. Exhale and laterally flex with elbow extension. Inhale, return to neutral with elbow flexion. Exhale. Inhale. Maintain the elbow slightly pitched forward in line of the shoulder joint. Perform 6 to 8 repetitions before switching to seated spinal twist. Exhale, twist and rotate. Inhale, control and return. Exhale. Inhale. I have hold of the short strap. However, this could be performed on the long strap. Once more, perform 6 to 8 repetitions before we finish side facing with draw a sword. Exhale, twist and extend. Inhale, flex and return. Exhale. Inhale. Again, I encourage my clients to hold the side strap on the box for an extra feeling of balance and stability. Upon completion, replace the strap and remove the box from the carriage. We complete this beginner reformer session with some lower limb stretches. I'm going to work with one red spring here. Laying back down onto the carriage, place just the right foot into the strap. Straighten the leg, aiming for vertical, and rest the left leg onto the platform. Hold the leg up into the air for roughly 6 to 8 counts. Aim to keep the knee extended, feeling the stretch down the back of the leg, the hamstrings. Exhale, take the leg across your midline, maintaining the right side of the pelvis in contact with the carriage. Once more, hold for 6 to 8 counts before taking the foot out of the strap and switching to the left leg. Straighten the left leg, aiming for vertical, and resting the right leg onto the platform. Aim to have the knee fully extended. You may need to lower the leg in order to achieve this. Exhale, take the leg across the midline, maintaining pelvic stability. To finish, replace the strap and bring yourself to sitting. If you enjoyed today's video, then please consider liking, sharing and following. Also, you can check out some videos right here.